Riverboat Ron said this was a measuring stick game. We couldn't even afford a ruler. Shout out Joey Sly. 37-3. Lost to Buffalo. It's time for a reckoning.
Greetings and salutation. Welcome to Ref the District's Day After Reckoning, where we've had time to sleep on it, and we're going to talk about the game Washington played the day before. This week, not as fun as last week, as Washington fell to the Buffalo Bills 37-3. We know, Stoner, you're a big fan of that field goal at the end of the game to make sure that it wasn't a goose egg. Trev, tell me, what you think about this and try to use the context. Remember, Ron Rivera and Sam Howell both talked about how this game was their measuring stick, right? They wanted to see how they measure up against quality teams, kind of a diss to Arizona and Denver. Here you go with a Super Bowl contender, and you just get flat out spanked.
Yeah, at home, sold out. What's your original question? How do I feel about that?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I'm trying to forget it. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not even wearing Washington gear today because of the shellacking we took and displayed and put on the field out there yesterday.
Yeah, no onesie for me today, Trev. I get to break out the new one when they beat Philadelphia. Instead, I'm wearing the Washington football team. It is what it is, because this one was absolutely brutal here. As Barry from Twitter here, I'm not even going to try saying that last name, says Washington's most lopsided loss since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger. I mean, Stoner, you were watching the football games back then, as this one here against Buffalo, 34-point loss. Yeah, of course. 2013, 2021, they had two bad losses, one of those to rival Dallas, but the worst one being back in 07 there and 45. Just bad. Bad all the way around for Washington when it comes to this. If Washington's not good enough to beat Buffalo, Super Bowl contender, Stoner, but they beat Denver and they beat Arizona, who Arizona did at least do us one favor and beat Dallas. So we at least have some sort of solace this week, as Arizona helped us feel a little bit better. But Stoner, where do we measure up?
Yeah, let's not overreact. It's an overreaction Monday. Everybody loves to just make these season-defining statements today and say, oh, fire this guy, fire that guy, cut this guy, trade him, all this other stuff. I mean, it was a bad game. They had a bad game. The NFL is week to week. Just look at that Dallas and Arizona game. Look at Houston beating Jacksonville. Look at Baltimore losing at home to Indianapolis. It's a week-to-week league. Washington got their butts kicked in all facets of the game. But let's just forget it, and let's go on to next week. Let's not fire anybody. Let's not change quarterbacks. Let's not cut Gibby. Let's not trade Chase, all this other stuff. Let's see what happens next week. Let's see how they respond. Then we can start measuring up what this team's all about.
Some important context, right, is that Washington is 2-1, not 0-3. People are kind of panicking in that regard. And when you look at it, and think, right, if Sam Howell is the QB we think he is, he's going to get better. And if Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator we think he is, the coach we think he is, he's going to adjust and adapt. So the question now, Trev, is, do you still believe they are who we thought they were 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. I mean, it's the Buffalo Bills. They have one thing that we don't have. That's continuity. We have a lot of new faces, a lot of new schemes, a lot of new things happening over here in Washington, D.C., from ownership down to the field. Whereas Buffalo, the only change they had to make was replacing Von Miller for 4 games. And they did a great job with that, with Matt Milano and whoever else is back there playing, that Barnes guy, whoever, who's doesn't get to play ever. So, we're 2-1. I thought we'd be 0-3 just because, that's how Washington goes. Everything happens great in the preseason. Then we got here when it's time to play for things that count, and we lay an egg. But we're 2-1. This was bound to happen. Everything was going great for us this offseason. Like I said, as far as ownership change, We got a mascot. We got Sam Howell. He's having a great training camp. Chase Young is back. Deron Payne just got an extension. Cam Curl wants an extension. We had a nice draft, Emmanuel Forbes and Quan Martin and, some other players. So, everything was going great. So this is bound to happen. Sam Howell's third NFL game. I mean, you can't base this game off of the first 2 games really because he's inexperienced. He's still learning his receivers. I don't care what you say in training camp.
Game in total, 3rd game this season.
Yeah. So
remains is this is a very young QB in the grand scheme of things.
We're fine. I just wish we would have been a little bit more competitive and made it more of a game rather than getting whacked 37-3, basically 0. I don't count that. We could have given that to Miami so they could set the record.
It should have been a lot closer as a lot of decisions being made, not just the decision making by the players, because there were some poor decisions being made there. Obviously 4 interceptions by Sam Howell that we're going to take a look at later, and the fumble by Gibby because he's Gibby again because he put the ball on the ground, but also some of the coaching decisions going for it on 4th and goal rather than taking the points when it was still relatively close at that point. I mean, a lot of people are going to look at this game 37-3 and they're going to think blowout, but this game was close up until 10 minutes in the 4th quarter. And that's when it started going away. So a lot of people were talking bad about the defense, and that defense held them to 16 points, and then they gave up a touchdown. Sam Howell threw a pick 6, and now all of a sudden you're looking at 30-3 out of nowhere.
Right.
It was just insanity, and kind of similar to that is Brian Robinson. We're going to be really harsh on Eric Bieniemy today. Just wanted everybody to know that.
Absolutely.
But Brian Robinson was only in on 20 snaps this entire game.
Right.
He got 10 carries this game, and he was productive in those 10 carries, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people point to the score being, the game was out of hand. The game was not out of hand. It was a 16-point game in the 3rd quarter, and we're still not running our premier back. I mean, obviously, Stoner, you think he's a Jag, but really the Jag here might be Ron Rivera and the coaching staff. And I know you have some interesting stats to share with us.
Yeah, I think this entire game goes on the coaching staff. Sure, the players did not execute, but I thought the game plan, when you go back and look at everything, the game plan, both sides of the ball were just not there. And could the players have overcome that? Of course. But I don't think the coaches put the players in the best chance to win. Offensively, we went through all of the dropbacks that Sam had, and he had 14 times that he dropped back and threw a quick pass. He completed 12 out of 13 on that, and he had 1 sack on those quick plays, either rollouts, screen. Now, he only had 1 rollout. He only had 1 screen, and all the rest were just quick dropbacks. One time he had a quick dropback. It wasn't there. He held the ball. He got sacked. That was the only time. And then he did on the other ones, he did 23 times that he dropped back on a deep drop, and he completed 7 passes on those 23 dropbacks. Now, he was sacked 8 times, and he had a run in there as well, that run where he got slammed at the end. That, to me, is coaching. It's coaching. He didn't put Sam in the best position. We know it. Everybody who's watching this and listening to this knows that the weakest part of this team is the offensive line. We've talked about it from the end of last year, and we didn't think they did a whole lot of improvement until now, that the offensive line is your weakest point. You've got to coach around that. And he's not coaching around it right now. He just continues to throw. In the first half of every game this year, he's dropped back in the first half. He's dropped back 85 times, and he's run the ball 20. That's a 4-to-1 pass-to-run ratio with a weak offensive line and a young, just learning quarterback, inexperienced quarterback. And what is he doing? He's just throw the ball all the time in the first half. And it's no coincidence that he's been down in the first half to in the first game against Arizona, they were down 13-10. In the first half against Denver, they were down 21-14. And in this game, they were down 16-0 in the first half. I think there's a correlation. Then flip it, hang with me just for another second here. Flip it to the defensive side, and you saw no pass rush. And if you watched the tape, it wasn't like they were getting stymied by the offensive line. It looked like the game plan was, don't attack Josh Allen. Keep him in the pocket and let the guys behind take care of it. And then the guys weren't taking care of it.
We don't have the secondary to do that.
And then sometimes you would see Daron Payne get out of his lane and open up a giant hole right in the middle where Daron Payne should have been. And then Josh Allen goes running through there. And when you've got Stephon Diggs out there, he's going to find the holes all over the place if Josh Allen is just going to stand back there. So again, that to me is coaching. It looked to me that they coached him up to say, don't attack Josh Allen. Sit back, keep him in the pocket, make him beat you downfield. And what did he do? He beat him downfield, or he beat us downfield. And
with
then
his legs and his arms.
Yeah, and then when it broke down, he found a way to beat us with his legs. And it was just like that time after time after time. And so I think all this, Trev, all this is on the coaching. And again, the players could have executed better, but the coaches did not put the guys in the best chance to win.
Piggyback off of that, Stoner, since you said, coaching is being held accountable for this game, for not putting players in position. There were a couple instances where I was working at W yesterday, so I didn't get to see the whole game, but when I saw this, the Kendall Fuller interception, I think we're still down 16-0 in the fourth, maybe. Gave our team a chance. We put ourselves in the good position to go down and make something happen. Didn't work. And then the second one, where's the Daron Payne when the Bills went down for 4th and 1? The Daron Payne pass deflection right there put us in position to go down and make something happen, and we didn't do it. And then, of course, the 2 interceptions, I guess, thrown by Sam Howell in the red zone, players put ourselves in good position, and then that happened. So it does work both ways, but I will agree with Stoner. It's majority coaching that it is the players' execution in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot to go under. One of the things I'll agree with both of you about is that a lot of this is going to be on the coaches. And big reason for that was just how under pressure Sam Howell was. Obviously, there was a lot of dropbacks. We talked about Brian Robinson not being used, but I mean, it was egregious to the point that they should know better because Buffalo knew better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Buffalo here, Ben Standig talking about Sean McDermott loving to face inexperienced QBs, and the defense for Buffalo was talking about how they've seen this. Right. So this is one of the things here that they've been about. So there was Sean McDermott's dominance, but then you have the inability here by Sam Howell to do anything. This one's from John Keim, faced only 19 rushes of 5+. And I'm still in the middle of looking up the sack stuff. I have a whole spreadsheet out on how many people they've seen. Most of these sacks, as mentioned here by John Keim, were coming at 4-man pressure.
Mm-hmm.
He's just holding on to the ball a little too much. And then Bill's players here mentioning this is Nikki J talking about how they saw this on tape. Yeah. And this is what's egregious to me is if your opponents are seeing it on tape that your QB sometimes struggles, he looks for his one read,
mm-hmm.
and then if he doesn't have it, he holds on to the ball, and your defense sees that. There's a reason why he was seeing a bunch of 4-man fronts there, and they're dropping it back. They're wanting him to try to process it, and his processing right now just isn't fast enough.
And if you only have 4 guys rushing, then that says something about the offensive line if he's consistently being pressured with only 4 guys. Now, I saw a lot of plays there where it wasn't necessarily the 4 defensive linemen who were just coming forward. It was 7 guys up on the line and 3 drop off, and a linebacker comes from another direction, and a defensive lineman drops off. And it was what is that fancy word that they use? It's
misdirection.
It's just
exotic.
That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Trey. It's exotic blitzes from all over. Now it only ended up being 4 guys most of the time, but it was a corner, it was a safety, it was a linebacker from this direction, that direction, and the offensive line was getting confused. And I saw a stat on PFF that said there were only 10 pressures that the offensive linemen faced or gave up. They only gave up 10 pressures. And yet the next gen stats say that Sam Howell was pressured 33 times. So who is it that's not doing it? These are just free rushers, or the backs are not doing it, or the tight ends are not doing it, or whatever. It was just a constant barrage that Sam was under, and he was not processing it fast enough to be able to overcome it. And I think that's, again, I think that's coaching. Sure, it's on Sam a little bit, obviously, but he's young. And you got a bad offensive line. Coach it out of him.
First year as a starter, you know that he's going to see these kinds of things all season long. It's kind of funny because I've seen people talk about it like it's some revelation, like, oh, the book is out on Sam Howell. You pressure him and he's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same book that's on Tom Brady, and he's won seven Super Bowls. Now, I'm not trying to compare, but yeah, it's what you do to QBs, right, Trev? It's exactly what you do. You pressure the QB, you make them uncomfortable, right? And there's different ways to make them uncomfortable. Some you drop back, right? And then you get that pressure up front. Some of them, like Tom Brady is a QB that's an example of, if you crush the center of the pocket, he's not a great quarterback at that point. Now, you have to be able to crush the center of the pocket reliably to make him pay. But Sam Howell right now is still in the development stage. I asked you earlier if you still believe in them, Trev. What do you think they need to do this week? Because the Buffalo Bills came in with 3 sacks on the season. They left with more sacks than Washington has on the season. Washington is about to face this Philadelphia defensive front. If they can't get right against a Buffalo defense that was struggling, what are they going to do this week against Philadelphia, who has a strong defensive line?
Find a lineup on the offensive line and stick with it. I know Ron loves versatility, and we can play this person there and play that person here, but it's not really helping if all you do is plug and play different guys, different positions. Find a continuity on the offensive line and go with it. Second, play to Sam Howell's game. You brought in EB that could supposedly cater to that. He said he wanted to let Sam be in control and call plays that fit him. I think it's right. Run some more RPOs. You got a vaunted defensive line you're facing. Draw them in, keep it and run. Sam can run, or fake pass and hand it off. Like, get B-Rob involved more. I mean, I know it's B-Rob and Stunner say he's a jag, but the man had 70 plus yards on 10 carries yesterday against the Bills, where the Raiders couldn't run a lick on them a week before with Josh Jacobs, former leading rusher NFL. So yeah, involve B-Rob more and find some continuity on the offensive line and cater to Sam Howell's skill set. Yes, he has a strong arm. Doesn't mean he has to throw it 40 times in the first half. It's simple. I mean, I don't coach. None of us coach. We might have coached legally, whatever, but we watch the game to learn, and you play Madden. Play action works.
Yeah.
When you line up first down in the shotgun and you just fake it off here and throw, they know it's not a run. It's not even a legit handoff fake. It's just going in the motions. Legit play action. Open it up for the weapons you have. That you practice
bootlegs, rollouts, those kind of things.
Just cater to his game. Go back and watch UNC tapes when he had weapons and what he did. That made him the number 1 overall pick before he decided to stay. You know what I'm saying?
I'll do you one better, Trev. Go back and look at last week's tape. That's what you do. Go back and look at against Denver. Go look at that when he was fantastic.
Because that's exactly right, Star, because that was all the talk. Is just, Trevor, you mentioned they talked about that. They talked about the ownership leading into the Bills game of doing things that Sam Howell likes to do. And yet here we are in the game, and Sam Howell is being put in bad positions. Now, some of that, Trev, was he was relying too much on that arm strength. But where did it go wrong in the middle of the week, Stoner, that we went from doing the things that Eric Bieniemy likes to do and Sam Howell is good at doing into a 4 interception game here by Sam Howell?
I don't know. That's a question you got to ask Eric Bieniemy, because he's the one that decided that he wanted to drop Sam back deep again, and he wanted to do it over and over again. Think about the first drive for Washington. What did they do on that very first drive? They went quick pass. Well, first they went run. Then they went quick pass. Then they went run, first down. Then they went quick pass. Then they went run. Then they went deep pass to Cole Turner, which was really nice, which was, by the way, on a play action, looking over my notes, the only play action the entire game. One. And that was when Sam, he did a play action and he had time and he threw a strike to Cole Turner down the field.
That's what I'm saying.
Then what happened? Deep drop, sack. Deep drop, sack. Deep drop, interception. So it just does it. Sometimes it's simple, and sometimes it's difficult when you're too close to it, which is Eric Bieniemy, to be able to take that big picture look like we do, because he knows what Sam can do well, and Sam has that arm, and what he can do well there is throw the ball downfield, and you get too enamored with that. But if you just look at that first drive, quick pass, play action, and then it all went wrong when you started the deep drops. So you just got to look at the overall thing and say, that's not working in the first half, especially. Got to change it up.
Yeah, we definitely have to do something different here. Maybe bring back a little bit. I think part of it was Eric Bieniemy saw that in the Denver game, they could throw it to success. Wasn't working in this game, as we are going to go ahead and take a look at these interceptions here. So the first interception we have, it looked awfully familiar because it was kind of similar to an Arizona one in Sam Howell's throw here. So one of the things that Sam Howell did on this one is he line drived it. All right. It just went straight. So he had the right idea. He had the idea to hit this open space that technically he thinks is going to be there, but it ended up not being there. And the reason why is what they talked about with when the defense was talking, they only rushed 4 here.
Right.
All 7 of these guys are going to fall back. Okay. And they're going to bracket a couple of the wide receivers here. And what that leaves is Diami coming up and then going into this space. So Sam Howell's trying to get it there. Now, the problem is this linebacker right here, he has one running back that's going to leak out to the side here, but that's not his responsibility. What he ends up doing is he comes back and he fills this void right there.
Yep.
And so when this play develops, Sam Howell is looking a little bit to the left, and then he's waiting for Diami to make that cut, and he just throws it a touch too late, as we're going to see here, and has an excellent play by the linebacker for the Bills. So he takes that step, and he's waiting. You just see, I'm going to go back a little bit. Look at where he is looking, right? So he looks to the left during his drop back. The moment he hits the top of his drop back, this ball needs to find a home. Okay. It's not going to be where we're going to come back a little bit further here. All right. I mentioned the defense doing a good job. This is out of the question. Okay. Here is going to be out of the question too, because these two are taking that spot. So with those, you also have a tight end here who's going to leak out, and then the running back's going to leak out as well.
Right.
So,
and I think what also plays a role in this, Nathan, is that it's 3rd and 19. And so Sam is like, well, we want to get a first down here, so I'm going to go to the deepest guy instead of just taking your little 5-yard dump off to John Bates and kicking a field goal.
Yeah, John Bates, or you can even go to the running back. You'll see that that I believe this is Antonio Gibson, ends up being open on this. So look right there.
Right.
Those are the 2 options he needs to be going, but he gets to the end of his drop and he is laser focused on Diami Brown right now. You can see where those eyes are pointing here. He is laser focused. And then, as I mentioned, instead of giving this some touch and coming over top, he throws it very direct, and that gives the linebacker that opportunity to come into it, as we'll see here as he launches it. See how flat that ball was? So excellent jump and grab by the linebacker. Diami is in space. This looks kind of similar to that Cole Turner catch that you talked a little bit, only the Cole Turner catch actually got threaded into this space right here. I'm going to try to draw right there. This space right here. So this one he was trying to throw in over the linebacker, didn't work, ends up being the first interception of the game right there about the 15-yard line. So takes away a solid possession by Washington.
This is 100% on Sam. This interception is he got greedy. Again, he had those couple of dump offs. But I think it's also 100% something that he'll look back on and he'll say, I can't do that. It's 3rd and 19. Of course, the linebacker is going to be way back there. He doesn't care if Antonio Gibson leaks out to the side and is open 5 yards downfield. Well, you can have that because we're going to rally and we're going to tackle and be 4th down. So Sam's got to know that too. Sam's got to be able to think like the linebackers are thinking and saying, well, he's going to be really deep. So just let me take what they give me. We hear that all the time, right? That's a cliche. Just take what the defense gives you. And they didn't give him that throw to De'Ami Brown. So hopefully he learns from this. And next time he'll just dump it, kick the field goal. And it's not crazy. It's 3-0 in Washington.
Yeah, it would have actually been 3-3 at that point if Washington. Yeah, it was 3-0. Washington could have gotten a field goal out of this, or at least a field goal attempt. Attempt ends up not having the chance as that turns into an interception here. So I'll save you all the celebration and cut to the next one here. This is a 3rd and 2. It's short, right? It's a short. This is one of those quick passes you were talking about, Stoner. We're going to watch it one time through here. He gets pressure into the face. Okay. He needs to know his hot read. This is not good, right? This right here is not good. He needs to know that that's a free rusher coming. I'm going to go back I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see where this comes from. So you have 4 on the line. Okay. So it's not even a 5-man blitz here. It's just going to end up being some, I'll give some bad. They didn't slide the protection probably on Sam Howell here. Leno isn't even looking at him, right? So the protection was called to maybe allow for a free rusher because it's 3rd and short. This ball needs to come out quicker. And it didn't come out quick. And you can even see on this, I mean, he's throwing this as lofty as he can because he's getting whacked.
Right.
And because it ends up getting lofted in there, Micah Hyde had an easy grab interception.
Go back to the beginning again, if you will. Go back to the beginning of the play. You can see what they do that we talked about earlier, these exotic blitzes. The linebacker who is standing up there in the middle and the defensive line, the one behind him. Yes, him. Watch him and then watch the defensive tackle directly in front of him. Circle that guy. Yeah, and then watch how this confuses the offensive line. That defensive tackle goes one way. That linebacker comes right up the middle.
Yeah.
And then
Leno has to pick him up and it leaves 57 wide open.
Exactly. And this is, again, where PFF stats can be deceiving. Charles Leno had 0 pressures on his rating from PFF.
Well, and I don't,
because I don't think, guy.
No, it's not, yes, right. So linemen are
100%. It's his guy.
We're gonna have this argument again.
Yes,
we're gonna have this argument here as I gotta switch this over there. Again, his job, the lineman's job, is to take that inside guy because that's the path of the quickest path. The oncoming rusher, number 58 in this.
I'm talking about the offensive tackle. His job is to take the inside guy. No, it's not. His job is to take the outside guy. We're
gonna bring it back up here. All right.
He had to pick up the inside guy.
He has to pick up the inside guy here, and this is very normal scheming from offensive linemen. If you have 2 guys, now granted, you could actually say Charles probably shouldn't be double teaming 50 here, and Charles
not at all.
But that's not how they called the blocking. Leno has 2 guys coming. You take the one that's got the closest path here, and that's 58.
I think they called it. We just executed it wrong.
It could be.
Okay, I just fundamentally disagree with that. I fundamentally disagree that you take the guy who's right in front of Sam that Sam can see and leave the guy on his blind side and let Sam figure that out. Sam's can see the guy right in front of him. He can't see his blind side until he turns and looks and like, holy S, I better get rid of this.
He did get it rid in a hurry.
And my hot read's 10 yards downfield for some reason. And then he just lofts it out there and it's bad news.
I think Gibson was where he was supposed to be on that one too, but
who cares?
It was just
he's better without the ball.
It was bad throw.
Yeah, that you just 3rd and 2, eat that sack, bro. When it's something like that, eat it and just
launch
it away.
Don't throw it short. That has to be where the your receiver is tiptoeing in, not where it has Micah Hyde, who is waiting on it, by the way.
Yeah.
If let's go back a little bit. Look at him, he knows where this ball is going to go, and as soon as it's lofted, I mean, he's not even forward facing at this point. He has that much time to be able to jump in front of this one. That ball was sailed, and not a time to sail that one. Washington still just down 13 at this point, but did give great field position, held them to this is an angle.
I mean, he's not even open, Sam.
Well, yeah, it was just a bad throw. That is a superb angle here. Just seeing how much his throw was affected by that oncoming rusher and just a bad throw. All right.
By the way, defense, nice job holding them again to a field goal attempt.
Yep. Defense was doing its job there.
Yeah.
And then things got out of hand.
Yep, absolutely.
Here's this one here. Another red zone interception. You're going to see
it's 2nd and 8. Why are we
2nd and 8 and he's going for it all? You got 4 people here.
4 again.
Just the 4. All right.
You got 5 receivers going out.
So and
7-step drop back.
Look at where these defenders are. Okay. They're all here at the line to gain. This should be, you do have I do believe Gibby gets taken out by this one right here. Because I do think that he comes up to take away this. But what Sam Howell ends up looking for is Curtis Samuel doing essentially what we had earlier as well, right? So Curtis Samuel is going to come, and then he's going to come across here, and he's going to go right in front of the end zone. Sam Howell is going to feel the pressure. Sam Howell is, well, he's going to get pressured. I don't want to say he's going to feel the pressure. He gets pressured and he rushes into this throw, and it just ends up not being a good throw. Again, watch his eyes. He is laser focused on where he wants to throw it. So he's not, when he's doing this, he's not looking off where the players are. So they have an opportunity to get, but I mean, he is laser focused on where he's going to throw it the entire time. So 2nd and 8 here. Sam Howell makes that decision. Probably, let's say,
oh my God,
right here. Sam makes that decision. Okay.
Well, okay. And I'm kind of okay with the decision because they've only got the one safety.
Look at
on the left
right
side.
there. Look at that graphic right there where it says 2nd and 8. We have 3 offensive linemen bumping butts. Not blocking anybody, bro.
And look the middle of the field too, by the way.
Yes, right there.
Open.
See where that right there? Is that Dotson right there at the 10? Hit him right now. Boom.
I think that's
4-yard gain, 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5 or whatever. He can have some yak after that.
Right.
But there's 3 offensive linemen playing touch butts instead of, and 90 comes right by Wiley and pressures Sam into that throw. So yes, Sam is laser focused, but he has no time because we're playing touch butt with each other.
I don't know if he has no time here. This ball gets snapped at 9:18, and even with the pressure in their face
throw
here,
it now.
Yeah, he should have threw it there. And it's 3-second sack here. And again, he just throws it a touch too late here, and I'll just play it out. And
he wasn't
Curtis Samuel gets undercut. And it was a bad throw due to pressure. was probably not the right decision. Again, it's 2nd and 8. You don't have to do something this risky, right? We mentioned, the throw probably could have been stuck right here, like you said, at the 10-yard line. Just get it into his belly and do it. But he had made the decision he's going to throw it to Curtis Samuel that early in his drop. He ends up getting the pressure and just doesn't get a good throw. I'm going to go back and watch this one because this you're right, Trev. This is just some horrible blocking.
I mean,
what is Wiley doing? Look at Wiley.
90 gives him a right foot jab and goes right around him. That's it. Plant and go. And Wiley's like, which way did he go?
That's
awful,
pretty bad,
bro.
And
I can make that
awful.
pass rush move.
It's awful all the way around.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything
bad new Bears. Here.
There was anything good that happened on that.
I've got another video, see if I can put up on the screen via phone. Nikki J posted it. The caption is "Damn," where Sam Howell is missing a wide open Jahan Dotson for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was on that drive where they ended up turning it over on downs because they couldn't get in on 4th down, and Dotson was
Sam's.
all
Do you think you think they're making too many progressions for Sam Howell, depending on skill set, or is this just because he's just young and this is the average progressions that a quarterback has? He's just not grasping as fast enough. Like, I don't know what it is. What is it?
I'd say yes. I'd say both of those things are correct. Maybe they're giving him too much, and he's not executing properly. Look, again, this is one game. If we looked at the tape last week, and he was fantastic last week, this was just not good.
Those touchdown passes were phenomenal.
Yeah. This was just not good this week. So that's why we got to say we can't say things like, okay, Sam's not going to work, or Bieniemy's not good enough, or whatever.
He's been sacked 19 times though. Yes, he had a great game last week and he put balls in places where we didn't think he could do it, but like he was
19
times.
He
did throw a pick
that is
week,
equal, by the way, to he has something in common with Doug Williams right now. Both were sacked, he's been sacked 19 times. So actually he's been sacked 22 times in his career at Washington. Doug Williams was sacked 19 times in his career. So he already has more sacks than Doug Williams has in his entire time with Washington. Now he's doing that 19. So he's tied this season. These 3 games, he's already tied the entire career of Doug Williams here with Washington. Just horrendous right now. That is what they need to fix, because I think he's on pace for 107 sacks. Not good.
We got to go quick game.
The record is 76, and he's on pace for 107.
Yeah, not good, Bob. Not great.
Yeah.
Let's continue here with the last one here and get on to the go-goes and no-goes, which I'm sure will be fairly quick on the go-go front here. This one, 3rd and 5. Another opportunity for Sam Howell here, who gets rushed out of the pocket. This time he made the decision. He's going to plant his foot in there and he's just going to go. And right here is where things go bad. Washington down 23-0. They need to put points on the board. And instead, this one goes the opposite direction. Looking at this, gentlemen, which way should Sam Howell be going? Should he be... Do you think he needs to continue just running out here, which is what he normally has been doing, and then he gets pummeled out here on the sideline? Or do you think he needs to, he's at least trying to look like he's keeping his eyes down the field. Do you think this is where he should be lofting it? This guy?
I don't think this one is as egregious as the other ones. This one, he did exactly what he should have done. This was in terms of decision-making. Absolutely. No. This was a perfect decision. He just didn't execute it. He didn't get it over that linebacker's head. Why?
It's the NFL. These are freak athletes he's playing against.
Yeah.
It's not
2 inches higher.
No, dude. The receiver is shorter than the linebacker. He's got to exert more energy to jump up and get that.
This
is throw it over his head.
This is where I am going to.
It's impossible to throw it over his head.
Sam's 5'7". He's throwing to 5'7". Jahan Dotson and linebacker 6'2". You do the math.
Not impossible.
Bro,
So
you
just
tuck and
throw it
run. It's
up.
5 yards. You give
I'm-
him one of these and keep going. You pump him and keep going.
I am going to
Done that too.
disagree. I'm
We
I'm
didn't
probably
disagree with. We're saying
Hold
two
on.
opposite things.
hold on. I'm going to tell you. Just wait. You guys are yelling over each other here. So Trev, maybe he pulls that one and runs, and then they have to punt it, right? So the first down here, though, I'm going to disagree with you, Stoner. I don't think he needs to try to throw this over. This is where he needs to do one of those throws that we've seen him do. Why is this not being sidearmed? Why is this not stopping?
You guys
Like,
are
what-
overthinking it. Just throw it over his head. It's not hard.
He
Run.
tried to
It's
throw it
5
over his
yards.
head.
Right. He didn't execute it well enough.
So
it's not
run.
hard. He just botched it.
Run.
He just botched it. And if
Bro,
you want
those
to
are
pump fake
freak
it and run,
athletes.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that too. But either way, it should have been
You
a
don't
successful
throw that.
play.
No.
I'm not. We're not going to see the celebration afterwards. That's just not
No,
going
of
to
course
happen there.
No, but I
Um,
mean, these guys do that all the time where they come out of the pocket and they got a linebacker and they just pop it over his head.
Yeah,
It's
and we
not
kill him
hard.
the next day.
Or
And
they
we make
or he
fun.
sidearms. I just don't understand. I think that he's been
Trying to
snake
do
bit a
too
little
much.
too much in that game, and this is one of those things I want to talk about, and we'll just talk about it right here. He was battered and bruised, and he was not having a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree? We'll start with you, Trevor. Do you agree with the coaching decision to keep him in through the duration?
Yes.
Why?
Number one, you're sending the young man a bad message, bad sign by saying, 4 interceptions, we're going to yank you. That means every time I intercept, I have a chance of being benched. Number two, you named him QB1. It's week 3. You're going to go ahead and pull your QB1 week 3 because he had a bad game. Not all because of him, but he had 4 turnovers. No. Peyton Manning's done it. Tom Brady's done it. Look where they are now. Number 3, it's week 3. And Jacoby Brissett is not going to come in and save the world. Yeah, you might want to think about player safety, but it's fine. Just let the man finish. Let him learn and grow in pains, and make him the starter for week 4. Never yank him.
I love you, Trev, but that's a horrific take. That's a horrific take. The
Bro, it's
game
week
is 30.
3, dude.
Hold on. The game is 37-0. Fourth quarter, there's like 3 minutes left in the game. There's no reason for your starting quarterback to be out there. I don't care what his name is. You just don't need to be out there losing 37-0. Just, you're not benching him. You're not yanking him. You're not punishing him for his bad game. You're just saying, look, we need you next week. Just go over here and chill out. Don't get hurt. They're pinning their ears back and coming after you. They're trying everything in their power to blast you to smithereens. Just let Jacoby go in there and hand the ball off to Chris Rodriguez for 5 plays and let's go home. Because there's nothing good that can happen by leaving your quarterback in down 37-0.
Yeah,
3
he let
minutes
us down, and we got a field goal out of it.
We
So
did
there
get a
you
field
go.
goal out of that.
Get
He
me
was
started.
Jacoby
sacked.
wouldn't have done that.
He was sacked 2 times on that drive.
Yeah, he was sacked 2
It's
more.
football,
Yeah.
guys.
All right,
Well,
but
it's
you have
football.
a responsibility to take care of your guys when the game is out of hand. The
So
game was out of hand.
the reason why I
agree.
agree with the decision is because he needs those reps.
No, he
and
doesn't.
He does need those
Yes,
reps.
he
Stoner.
does.
He absolutely needs reps. He
That's-
does not have NFL reps. And I think
You guys
this
are
is a
insane.
big I think. This is a Nathan I think session here. I think that they also wanted to have him try to see something successful
Yeah.
because he had so many mistakes. And thankfully that drive ended in points for the team, but and rather than a turnover. But I think that he needs those reps, and I think he needed to see something.
You don't
you know,
need
be
37
improved.
to nothing reps with
Bro.
3 minutes left. You don't
Russell
need
Wilson
those.
was in a 50-point shellacking.
And they kept him
Okay.
in.
And are
They
we
kept
just going
him
to
in.
do comparisons? You know who wasn't in? Josh Allen wasn't in. They were
'Cause
up.
they were winning.
Kyle Allen was in.
What's the difference? The game is out of hand. You don't need to expose your quarterback to potential injury. If Sam
was
Howell
play-
ends up on the injury report on Wednesday, I'm fighting both of you in your homes. I'm coming to both your homes and I'm punching you in the face for having that take.
If you're going to take the man out for safety issues, you don't wait until 2 or 3 minutes left in the game, bro. You made it this far. Let the man finish. If he's going to be in the injury report, it came from the 4th sack in the game in the second quarter.
Probably came from that run. Yeah,
he sacked 8 and 9. That's when he started limping around.
It is football. Travis Hunter got up and said it's football, and he can't even play for 3 weeks. He was like, it's football. I'm cool. He's fine. Playing. Sam Howell's fine, bro. He good. It's week 3.
If he's young.
Trev. Yeah, he'll be fine.
And these
if
things
he doesn't want to play, he can go home if he doesn't want to get hit. It's football, Stoner.
He should have not been playing in that last drive. Period.
Oh, come on. Well, if that's
anybody
the case,
who says differently.
If that's the case, take out Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, John Allen, Kendall Fuller, St. Juice, Forbes. Go ahead and put in everybody, even off the inactive list, make them active somehow and put them in.
Yes, correct.
You're probably not wrong on a lot of those, Trev.
You should have
a lot of those backup players would have been.
I don't want to hear it.
Chris Rodriguez, Jacoby. You should have Byron Pringle out there and De'Ami Brown. Yes, that's what you do at the end of these games. Give those guys a chance.
They also apparently kicked field goals down 37-0, so they don't get
2 words for you.
Goose egged.
Kyle Allen. Okay, he played. Why? Why did he play, Trev?
Because they're the Buffalo Bills. They actually are Super Bowl contenders, and it's Josh Allen.
Why did they put Josh Allen down?
Because their coaching staff is smarter than ours. Okay, let's go to go-goes and no-goes.
We are going to move to our go-goes and no-goes here. I did jump because I looked at the right one and I clicked on the wrong one. Go-goes and no-goes, gentlemen. Well, normally I like to end on a positive note, but there's not a whole lot to end up positive here. So we're going to start with the go-goes and we'll move to the no-goes. I'm going to take the first go-go and maybe the only go-go for it. There's, again, not a lot of things that went well here. I'm going to give my go-go to Jamison Crowder for making some smart decisions.
Wow.
I mean, again, you score 3 points and your defense gives up 30 points for the second game in a row there. So Jamison Crowder, congratulations. You're my go-go. His decision to not fair catch that one. I mean, he was running backwards for like 15 yards and that punt goes behind him. And thankfully it ends into the end zone and a touchback for Washington. But there you go. Go for
a touchback. Your go-go is a touchback.
It's a 37-3 game, Stoner. What do you want from me? Trev, who's your go-go this game?
It's going to have to be B-Rob, in all honesty. Even though he got 10 carries, he made the most out of those 10 carries. Don't know why he only got 10 carries. But he got over 70 yards, 10 carries. Gave us a little bit of hope that we had an offense. So
I still love the way he runs, dragging bodies.
And he's
agreed.
He's starting to go outside more now. Remember, at the beginning we said he's just a downhill. He's starting to cut outside.
When he hits those holes, I mean, he's making some good game there. So Antonio Gibson, when not fumbling, has been doing fairly good. But that's we'll see.
I don't remember when the last time he hasn't fumbled.
Last week.
Just last week. But moving forward here, Stoner, your go for the game.
Next.
Nada. I told you it's hard to pick one. I had Cole Turner yesterday listed in our instant reaction because he was more involved and more steady, but he does pick up on Logan Thomas's propensity not to catch the balls thrown his way. There was 8 targets, only 4 catches on Cole Turner there. And
I can't top the touchback as a go-go. So I'm not even going to try. A touchback is the go-go.
Percy Butler didn't look too bad, but that's not a go-go worthy action here. Let's move to no-goes. Stoner, give me one. Leave something for the rest of us.
I will. I'll just give you the one. I thought Eric Bieniemy was mismanaged this game right from the beginning. Well, actually, his first 3 plays, and we said it on the live stream, and his first 3 plays was 2 runs and a pass. And I said, mark this down right now because this is not how it's going to be the rest of the game, this run to pass ratio. So Eric Bieniemy, he didn't put his players in the best position to succeed the entire game. He had way too many deep drops, way too many pass attempts, not enough getting Sam out of the pocket, not doing enough to offset a weak offensive line. And so Eric Bieniemy, who was fantastic last week, this week I thought he was the biggest reason Washington lost. And it's going to be interesting to see how he responds next week.
Eric Bieniemy, Stoner's no-go there. Trev, your no-go?
It's either I know you said one, but it's either between the defensive line, first round talent, scared of Josh Allen look like, or second, the way we defend mobile quarterbacks. I'm gonna go with that one because the defensive line, we know they have a tendency of not showing up every now and then. It's cool, but we can never, ever for the life of us contain a mobile quarterback at all.
He had some wide open lanes. It was rough to watch.
This isn't to defend Washington, but nobody defends mobile quarterbacks well.
Bro,
that's what makes them special.
That's why they're special.
I mean, you have a point, but at least and to harp on that, to your boy, Mr. Cam Curl extension himself, you got to tackle NFL, bro. You get to the quarterback.
Whiffed one there.
Don't go down there and just say what's up. You got to tackle.
that one's going to be on the negotiating table there when he's asking for more money, and they're like,
"I'm trying to tell you guys, 5th round for a reason out of Arkansas." Just saying.
7th round out of Arkansas. The Josh Allen rush defense on the no-go list here. There's a lot of potential no-go options on this one. I like that you brought up the defensive line because they were bad. Stoner talking about Eric Bieniemy and the play calling. I mean, it wasn't working, but also the execution wasn't there, right? They went down into positive territory several times and they came away with 0 points. They went down into red zone territory and ended up with 0 points. You cannot do that. So I'm going to give it to the coaching decision when you're down only, I think, 3-0 at this time, maybe 10-0, and you go for it instead of taking the 3 points. If you're going to kick a field goal down 37-0, okay, if you're going to make that decision, why did you go for it that early in the game? That's my no-go. I know we would be thinking about differently if they make that, right? If they convert on 4th and goal, then we probably were like, we're cheering it on, right? But they don't make it.
But we both said, Nathan, at the time when we were on the live play-by-play on our watch party, we both said, we should kick it. We should kick it here. On that 3rd down, when you got stuffed,
you went
and that gave them momentum. Now you kick
Not stuffed, Stoner. You went backwards.
Backwards a yard. That's right.
Stuffed would at least get to the back to the line of scrimmage, and then you think about it. Well, we might be able to punch this in. You went backwards 2 yards. 2 yards. All right. Sorry, I'm still a little frustrated. This game
out now.
Gotta get it loose there. Let's move on to final thoughts here. I'm going to start us off with this. Stoner, you said it yesterday, I believe, in the live stream. Move on from this game. Just put it away. Next week, it's a different game against the Eagles. So you got to focus on that. This is a game. There might be some things to learn from during this game. Probably not worth it, though. Just delete the film, move on. That's my final thought for this game as we face the Eagles this week, and that might be even worse than this game against the Bills. Stoner, how about you? Final thoughts?
Yeah, let's not get carried away again with all of these season-defining statements. Fire EB, get rid of Ron, change quarterbacks, trade Chase Young, bench Gibson, and all that. Just let's not get carried away with all that. There's one game. This is a week-to-week league. We've seen some teams dominate one week and then get dominated the next week. Good teams, bad teams, everything in between. So I'm with Nathan on that. It's time to move on. And I've said it a few times. It's going to be interesting to see how this team and this coaching staff responds to such a bad week when it comes to Philadelphia. They're not going to go to Philadelphia and lose 37-3. It's not going to happen. Now they could still lose. I'm not saying that, but it's going to be a totally different team next week because this is a professional team with good leadership all up and down the roster and in the coaching staff. They're not going to let two really, really horrendous weeks in a row. So I'm interested. I'm excited about seeing what's coming up against Philly.
Trev, close this out, my man.
I am going to say Trey Gibson right now, week 3. I don't care. He's a liability. All he does is fumble. Great guy, but it's time to go. But yeah, move on, flush it. Don't spend too much time on it. Today should be the only day they look at film. Tomorrow it's Philly week. It's going to be like Stoner said, complete different game, division game. Season starts now, in my opinion. So yeah, just move on. Autocorrect that Sam Howell knows how to do. He's been doing it, so we'll be fine. We're still 2-1.
We're 2-1. That's
2-1.
We're 2-1.
16-1 until we find out otherwise. They face off against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Philadelphia with a short week at that. So it'll be an interesting to see how that goes. We're going to get you there in the lead up. Tuesday, we have our daily Commanders update. We'll bring you the PFF. We're going to talk a little bit more about this game. Wednesday is our flagship program. Thursday, we'll see if we're going to bring you the sacks. If you liked the edition of this play breakdown, we'll try to keep that going. So let us know in the comment section what you think about that. Hit that like button, sub if you can as well. Make sure you're with us Wednesday live at 7:30 Eastern. But until next time,
just throw it right. Just go over him. Just throw it, pop it over his head. That's what
be a fan.
Here we go.